Good morning, students. Today we shall take up Robert J. Sternberg's Triarchic theory of intelligence. The theory, as the name suggests, triarchic. So, according to Robert J. Sternberg, intelligence can be categorized into three main, or you can say broad, categories. First of all comes analytical intelligence. It is also known as componential intelligence. So now let's try to understand what does he mean by analytical or componential intelligence. By analytical intelligence, Robert J. Sternberg meant the traditional viewpoint of intelligence. So this and the IQ tests, paper, pencil or psychometric test of intelligence assesses this analytical or componential intelligence. So psychological tests generally taps this analytical or componential intelligence, and this intelligence indicates or you can say this componential or analytical intelligence. If a person who scores high on analytical or componential intelligence, it means that person will have superior, or you can say will obtain high or superior grades or marks in exams, in competitive exams. So if a person is coming off with flying colors in exams, or you can say competitive exams, then we shall conclude that that person is having high componential or analytical intelligence. So this type of intelligence is typically associated with getting good grades or scores in marks, and it is associated with our academic, or you can say scholastic achievement. And why this analytical intelligence is known as componential intelligence? Because analysis means breaking a whole entity which is complex, in reducing that whole and complex entity into simpler parts or blocks, and then studying, or you can say analyzing each block or part, and then we shall try to get a complete or whole picture by integrating the different blocks or parts. Now let's try to understand the second type of intelligence. According to Robert J. Sternberg, the second type of intelligence is creative intelligence, and it is also known as experiential intelligence. So what does creative means? Creativity means producing something novel, original, authentic, and that original, that novel and original produced entity should be of some use to the society. So that is what creativity is. Now you guys will be wondering why this creative intelligence is also known as experiential intelligence. And the reason being, because when a person works in a particular field or domain for a prolonged period of time, so what happens with the passage of time, that person gains experience, and with experience comes creativity, and that is why it is known as experiential or creative intelligence. Because for creativity, experience is a must. Only then a person can have creativity. If suppose, for example, if a poet has written his or her first piece of poetry, then with the passage of time if you will compare the first piece of poetry to the poetry that he has written after a period of you can say 5 or 10 years, then that piece of poetry will be far better and improvised and refined. So creativity is not something that comes overnight. Creativity is something that comes with experience. As a person grows in experience, as a person's mental horizon expands, then comes creativity. So persistence, perseverance in a field or domain is a key, or you can say is a must for having creativity. So this type of intelligence is concerned with creating novel things, creating novel authentic entities, and these entities are of some use to the society. So this was the second type of intelligence, which was creative intelligence, which is also known as experiential intelligence. Now let's move on to the final type of intelligence that Robert J. Sternberg proposed. And the third type of intelligence that Robert J. Sternberg proposed was practical intelligence. It is also known as contextual intelligence. So what does he mean by practical intelligence? You must have heard a lot of people saying that that person is having a good common sense or having a good presence of mind. So this practical intelligence, or you can say, and why this practical intelligence is also known as contextual intelligence, because practical intelligence is concerned with behaving in a way that is in accordance with the situation or context. Here the word contextual or context means situation. Working, or you can say behaving as per the requirement of situation, adapting to whatever situation comes through, whatever situation comes up. So behaving in accordance with that, adapting to that novel situations is practical intelligence. So it is, and practical intelligence is reflected in a person's day-to-day life. So practical intelligence is basically street smart. Means this type of intelligence is not something that can be acquired through books or that sort of thing. So it is something that comes without any formal education. So that is why it is also known as street smart. So and this type of intelligence is also known as contextual intelligence, because in this type of intelligence a person behaves as per the context, as per the situation. The person adapts to the situation that a person is confronted with. And let's take up an example of practical or contextual intelligence. For example, what happened 4 or 5 years ago in Pakistan, in a army school, a group of terrorists attacked that army school, and in that attack a lot of students were killed. And among those students there was a student, so what he what idea he came up with, look, this type of situation is something that was quite that was not predicted. So it is absolutely unpredictable, and it is something that he encountered in his day-to-day life. And so what he did, he smothered himself with a lot of blood that was lying there in that room, because a lot of students were already killed. So he smothered a lot of blood on his body, and he simply lied down on the ground. And so then terrorists came And when they saw that each and every student is lying on the ground, and they were under the impression that all the students are, dead. So that student managed to save his life, and the kind of intelligence that he applied there in that situation is practical, or you can say classical example of practical or contextual intelligence. Because what he did there, he applied his presence of mind. So he applied common sense, though it is known as common sense, but common sense is not that much common, or you can say it is a very rare thing nowadays especially. So this was practical intelligence or contextual intelligence. So it is that kind of intelligence that is concerned with behaving or working as per situations, as per the context a person is in. And this is also known as street smart intelligence, because it is acquired by a person without any formal education or training. So that is what practical or contextual intelligence was. So now let's try to recap all these three kind of intelligence. First of all, Robert J. Sternberg, the first kind of intelligence that he proposed was componential or contextual intelligence. This type of intelligence is concerned with the traditional viewpoint of intelligence, and that is academic or scholastic achievement. If a student is getting good grades or scores in his or her exams, or you can say in competitive exams, and so that person is having high componential or analytical intelligence. So it is known as analytical intelligence because what analysis means? Analysis means breaking down a complex whole into its smaller and simpler blocks or parts, and then studying those bits and pieces one by one, and then integrating those parts and getting the whole picture. For example, if you are preparing for a competitive exam, then that competitive exam must be comprising different sections. So you take up each and every section and you prepare for each and every section, and then you acquire a holistic, or you can say eclectic understanding of that particular competitive exam. So that was analytical or componential intelligence. After that, the second type of intelligence that he proposed was creative or creative or experiential intelligence. So creativity is what is creativity? Creativity is creating or producing something new, something original, and something authentic, and that something, that novel product should be of some use to the society. That product must be of some value to the society. And there is one major myth, or you can say misconception about creativity, that creativity is something that comes overnight. This is a gross misconception. So because creativity is something that comes with experience. As a person grows in experience, with the passage of time comes creativity. If a person has worked long enough in a particular field or domain, for example, say for a period of 10 or 15 years, then that person will be able to be creative. So and it is known as experiential because creativity is something that comes with experience. So experience is a must thing for creativity. And the final kind of intelligence that Robert J. Sternberg proposed was that is practical intelligence or contextual intelligence. So practical, it is also known as common sense or presence of mind, street smart intelligence. So this kind of intelligence is something that comes in manifest form in our day-to-day life, And this, the most important thing about this type of intelligence is that it is acquired without any without any formal training or education. That is why it is known as street smart. And so it is behaving. This intelligence is all about behaving, or you can say working, as per the demands of the situation or the context or the setting in which a person is, and that is why it is also known as contextual intelligence. So this was all about Robert J. Sternberg's triarchic theory of intelligence. And as far as referring books are concerned, then for having a good understanding of Robert J. Sternberg's theory of triarchic theory of intelligence, you guys can go through that there is a book authored by Robert J. Sternberg, and the title of that book is Handbook of Intelligence. So handbook, you can go through Handbook of Intelligence by Robert J. Sternberg. And apart from that, you can also refer Metaphors of Mind. This book was also authored by Robert J. Sternberg. So these two books are considered authority in the field of intelligence, and both these books are authored by Robert J. Sternberg itself. So that will suffice for now. Thank you.